Hi guys, how are you all doing? Today we are going to be learning how to draft a basic sleeve pattern. You can use this basic sleeve pattern to create any sleeve you want. You can create designer sleeve. Once you have the pattern, it's easy for you to create many sleeves. So, if you are new here, you are welcome. Please don't forget to hit the notification bell to be updated anytime I upload a new video. To my old subscribers, thank you all so very much for returning back to watch my videos. Thank you guys. The tools you'll be needing for this tutorial are the measuring tape, straight ruler, French curve. This is another French curve for the armhole and other things. You need markers, you need pen to write down the measurements, and then you need scissors. And also, you need some porter measurements to cut this basic sleeve pattern. You need your sleeve length, you need your cap height, you need your elbow, you need your wrist, and then you need your upper arm circumference. So let's get started. So to make a basic sleeve pattern, you'll be needing your bicep, which is here around your arm here. You measure from the shoulder here to this place. That's your bicep. And then from your shoulder to your elbow, this is your elbow. And then from the elbow you go to the wrist, where you want your sleeve to end. You can make it longer, you can make it shorter. So this is it. And then this red line is the sleeve length. So this is a diagram of the arm. So I'm going to be showing you guys two different methods for cutting this basic sleeve pattern. So I'm starting with the first method. I have a paper with me here. I'll be folding this paper into two. Next, I'll be marking a line on top here, and this line serves as the starting point. I'm going to take my sleeve length. My sleeve length I'm working with is 22 inches. So I'm marking 22 inches down here. I'm taking 22 inches across the other side just to give me a straight line. And I'm going to use my straight ruler to connect the line. Next, I'll be taking my biceps length. My biceps is 5.5 inches. So now, to get your elbow measurement, you'll be measuring from the biceps to your sleeve length, and you'll be finding the midpoint. That is from your biceps to the sleeve length. Then you find the midpoint. I got 16.2. But you are not going to mark it in the midpoint. From the midpoint, you are coming up by 1/2 inch, like so. Next, you are going to divide the upper round arm by 2. And my upper arm circumference is 15 inches divided by 2 is 7.5 inches. So I mark 7.5 inches here. And from this 7.5 inches, you are going to connect it to the head of the sleeve here with your straight ruler. Then you are going to be dividing this line by 2. You find the midpoint of this line. and here you are going to go up by half an inch. Then you are going to take your curve roller. First of all, you are going to connect here with a straight line from the midpoint to where the around arm circumference is. You mark it straight down there, and then you take your curve roller, then you connect it to the head of the sleeve, and then coming down here, you are going to connect from this line to meet the head of the sleeve here. So after marking this upper line for the front armhole, here I turn the roller down in a curved way. This point I'm going to connect like this to this point. So this is back armhole, and then the front armhole. This is my bicep. This is the head of the sleeve. This is my elbow line. So this is my wrist line. Next, we are going to take the wrist measurement. My wrist circumference is 9 inches divided by 2 is 4.5 inches. So I'm marking 4.5 inches on the wrist line here. And coming down the elbow, my elbow circumference is 12 inches divided by 2 is 6. So now I'm going to connect from the elbow to the wrist, and then from the bicep to the elbow, I use this French curve and slant it a little bit. So here I didn't add measurement. You can add the seam allowance. You can take 1 inch, 1.5. It depends on how much seam allowance you want to put. And when cutting on the fabric, you add your half an inch allowance for both the back and front armhole. So this is a simple method of drafting a basic sleeve pattern. So now I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to cut out the back armhole first. Then I'm going to open the sleeve. Then I'm going to trim up the front armhole. So this is the front armhole and this is the back armhole. You see the front armhole is deeper than the back armhole, so that when you fix it on your clothes, you wear it, you not get that puffy under the armpit. So let's go to the second method. So in this second method of drafting a basic sleeve pattern, you are going to find the midpoint of this paper, and then I'm going to be marking here. This is the head of the sleeve, and from here you are going to take your sleeve length. In the previous one I used 22, and I'm using 22 inches here too. So this is the sleeve length, and I'm going to square the line. So on the sleeve head, I'm going to mark a straight line, and this end of the sleeve is the wrist line, and I'm going to mark a line here too. So now we are going to be taking our bicep. To get your bicep, you're dividing your bust circumference by 12 inches, and then you add half an inch. So in my own case, I got 5.5. That's for the bicep, and I'm going to square the line. Now to get your elbow line, you measure from the bicep line to the wrist line. This is what I have, and you divide it by 2, and you are going to go up by half an inch. So I'm going to square this line. Now I have to impute my around arm circumference, and around my arm circumference is 15 inches divided by 2 is 7.5. So I'm going to put 7.5 on this side and 7.5 inches too on this side. So when you square it is 15 inches. So coming to the elbow, my elbow is 12 inches divided by 2 is 6 inches. So I'm going to mark 6 inches on this side, and I'm going to mark 6 inches also on this side. Now to my wrist line. My wrist circumference is 9 inches. 9 inches divided by 2 is 4.5 inches. So I'm going to do the same thing I did here. Going to put 4.5 inches on this side and also mark 4.5 inches on this side. So now I'm going to connect this point to this to this, and from here now from the head of the sleeve I'm going to connect a straight line to meet this bicep line, and then on this side also I'm going to do the same thing. So now I'm going to label the lines. This is bicep line, this is elbow line, and then this is wrist line. So now you decide whether you want this side to be your front or the back, or you want this side to be your front or the back. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to be dividing this line into 3, but I'm marking this place as my back and here the front. Okay, so I'm going to take my tape measurement and measure from here, from the head of the sleeve to the bicep, and find the midpoint. We want 3 lines here. So from this midpoint to the head of the sleeve, we are going to be dividing it by 2. And then from here to the bicep, we are also going to be dividing it by 2. Now you see we have how many bosses? 1, 2, 3 bosses. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have 3 marks here. So on the first mark, I'm going to be going up by 0.6. And then coming to the second line, I'm going to go up by 0.3, like so. This is for standard basic sleeve pattern. And then you see here I went up by 0.6, and here I went up by 0.3, and then here I'm not going to go up, I'm coming down by 0.4. So I'll be connecting this for the back. I'll be connecting from the head of the sleeve. Then I enter like this. Then I take this point. Then I curve it inside. You can use your hand to trace it, or you can use your curved roller. You see, this is for the back armhole. Now, for the front armhole, we are going to do the same thing. We are going to be finding the midpoint of this line, and then as we did here, we are going to find the midpoint of these 2 lines. So you know here I went up by 0.6, but in the front armhole I'm going up by 0.8, and then the second one I'm going to go up 0.3. So here I came down by 0.4, but here I'm going to go down by 0.5. So I'm going to connect this one, this front one, from the head of the sleeve, and connect it like this to make the bicep. So this is how to draft the second method of the basic sleeve pattern, and it's so easy. The first pattern I drafted is the same as this second one. You can choose to use that method. You can also choose to use this method. It's all come out the same. It's very easy, very simple. You can add half an inch all around it, but I'm not going to add it here because I'll be using it to make so many sleeves, different types of sleeves. So I leave it like that. So I'm going to cut it out now. I turn to the front armhole. So this is how to draft a basic sleeve pattern. This is the first method, and this is the second method. So you can use this method, you can use this method. It all come out the same way. So we have come to the end of drafting our basic sleeve pattern. If this tutorial has been helpful to you, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, comment and share my videos to support me. Thank you so much, and see you on my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.